Welcome back. My guest, no, he's not my guest, he's my co-host. Special Ed Milewski is joining me today. Ed, welcome back.
James, nice to see you again.
You too, you too. What are you making?
Been a while.
It's been what has it been, 15, 20 minutes? We last tried it. Ed, what are you making out of the index today? Let's pull up the index and let's see what we've got.
I just scanned my list, and there's a number down, there's a few up.
Yep.
I'd say that there's a bit of confusion going on right now that you may have alluded to earlier about this recent vote.
Okay. Give us your technical breakdown on the index here. Well, we don't have the candlesticks for you, but
what do you see
in there?
I see a trend here. I'm going to come up and this is like
this is
the trend here. This trend.
Yeah.
See this?
Yeah.
See that you can sort of right, and it looks
draw a line there.
Now, when we were talking about this last week, we were way up in here, so we had a bit of a nice move, and now this is going to be, I think, a key level. This line in here, because it goes way back to April. So anyway, so we've had a nice trend going into the news, and the news came out, and every day it seems to be drifting a little bit less, Anyway, and then of course. We got a top here, and this top isn't as high. So that's a double top. That's not good either. But
why? What does the double top signify?
Well, it would mean that especially if this speculative move can't get through here, and I believe the volume was a lot lighter, which it was.
Yeah.
Volume lighter than here. Could be
Game over.
Batten down the hatches.
Call the lifeboats.
Be prudent. If you're in here and you got some nice profits, maybe you should
be taking them off the table.
Take some money off the table.
Always be a seller. A very wise old gentleman.
I know some guys in this business that they say.
Yeah. Okay. So
anyway,
this move is probably predicated on the lead up to the expectation that recreational rules were going to take hold, meaning that the market has now been broadened up to include a whole new contingent that previously has not been in the market. So is that to say that now that that's been priced in, is that going to be the advent of the bloom coming off the
What's the best news that could come out right now for this space? What would be the best possible news, do you think? I mean, I thought the news last week was the best news, and it's legal.
Trump quit. Oh, for the marijuana space. I thought you meant for the world generally.
I hear he's nominated for a peace prize. Which
to his credit, we have to acknowledge that he has agreed with a certain political lobby force in the United States that he would support the fact that states could determine their own futures when it comes to recreational marijuana going forward.
He did say that.
Now, mind you, it was
I don't think he's a user. I don't think he's a user myself.
I don't think he's a user. He'd be a much nicer person if he was, don't you think? I don't think, though, that the world knows that he agreed to allow the states to determine their own destiny because that would buy him favor with a guy who was otherwise threatening to hold up his federal court appointments.
Really?
So that connection is not generally made in the media. However, a very pro-Trump gentleman in our universe who will be joining us next week made that point to me and reminded me of that fact. Yes, Mr. Steve Meisner, who will join us next week.
Well, I know
while you're golfing in Scotland.
With Mike, our friend Mike
Blady and
Brandon
Bodie. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know Brandon that well, but
no,
they're good buddies. I'm going to know him a lot better after this trip, I'll tell you.
So let's talk about some of the action on the big board here. Let's see who were the big losers today.
Let's see. Yeah, there you go. So look at this. Weed
was the big loser, down 3%. Buck 23 at closing at 38.63.
So the index had to come off here. Look at this. Down
on
this drifting can drive the a lot of these people involved in this hot space. They probably every day thinking, we need this market to go up, and every day it drifts a little lower. It just you get the feeling of somebody's out to get you. Yeah,
and CanTrust is the big winner on this exchange, up 3.58%.
And what's the ticker for that?
TRST on the TSX.
Yeah, that's the fellow you had in the other day, isn't it?
That's Brad Rogers. One of our favorite guests because he's he's such a compelling speaker and guest that he's always entertaining to have on. I'm looking at the news on CanTrust, and their most recent one was yesterday that they'd entered into a partnership with Kwantlen Polytechnic University, which is not something you would specifically point to and say there is a value catalyst. Yet it seems to have, it was good for them today, I guess.
Right.
But,
So they were the big winner today, up about 3?
Let's go back and look at their...
Put that list up again if you can. That's what I want to see. There you go.
Okay, so they're... now it's been adjusted downward since the close. So we're trailing 20 minutes here. So we're seeing the end of the day. But
2.8%, yeah.
Up 22 cents.
But look at we see 4 winners.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 6 losers.
Yeah.
So slightly negative, but like I say, this continual
3 steps forward, 2 steps back,
or erosion,
or vice versa.
Erosion.
Yeah.
How do you build a strong foundation with erosion?
Sure. Let's look at one of the other charts here. Chiron made a big announcement today that they had received a status from the Colombian Agronomist Association that puts them essentially into a sort of state of federal endorsement by the Colombian government, which I was speaking with the CFO on the phone tomorrow, and I said, well, why is that significant? He says, well, if you look at Colombia, right now there are over 500,000 potential candidates for marijuana prescriptions who are currently using opiates to treat some other ancillary condition and are faced now with the prospect of addiction because they've been prescribed opiates.
Really?
So if you think about that, Chiron's the only one that's got the endorsement of both Colombian medical associations.
How many medical associations are there in Colombia?
There's 2 major ones.
Okay, 2 major ones, and they both have.
They've both endorsed Chiron specifically.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be like a couple of ours endorsing ours, right?
Well,
like endorsing.
How many patients in all of Canada right now? 250,000 at the most enthusiastic, or 300 call it going forward.
Probably should be a lot more.
100 companies buying for that small coterie. These guys have 500,000 patients, and they're the only game in town right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did the stock move on that news?
$1.19, up 2 cents.
Up 2 cents.
Good volume, just about 600,000 shares.
Just from what we saw, several months ago in the market when moves were 10, 15, 20%. I don't know if, a couple. It's nice to see an update in an otherwise lackluster session, but I think the investors that are in here would want to see something a little more action.
Sure. Well, why don't you give me a technical analysis on this chart?
Well, look, the problem is
it's only been trading for this is the fourth
you can't
week.
But look, you got a nice little. It seems to be holding. Is it holding for a move up or is it holding for a move down? That's still all I can say. So we've been trading for a month and it's been sort of moving sideways. I understand management's very competent.
Right.
Obviously, they've got some endorsements. Market cap's probably not crazy.
Yeah.
But, look, if it breaks the old high, that's very bullish.
Okay.
And if it breaks the low, so you got a trading range here of $1.05 to $1.25. I'd say whatever way it goes, so that's maybe the side you want to be on.
Right. So it's inconclusive from a technical perspective at this point.
Not a lot of data. It's been around for 3 or 4 weeks, but certainly, I'm just trying to recall. Do you remember what the issue price was on this one?
The last financing was done at 90 cents.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, so I find this interesting because this tells me that there are people in the money who aren't in a hurry to leave. I mean, the volume's not huge. The price is staying stable. I mean, it looks like it's waiting for value catalysts.
Yeah.
And I think that...
What's the market cap here? Is it 50 million or is it 100 million or is it...
Well, let's get out of the full screen. We'll take a look. I'm not entirely sure that this will be accurate. 46 million shares. No, I don't think that's accurate. That's pre-merger. So it's not going to show the accurate number until the onset of the next quarter.
But they only raised about 10 million, though, didn't they?
$17 million
Okay,
is what they raised, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah, so here's the press release. So this is a network of over 500,000 patients, was it, did they say here? So ILANS is the International Colombian, or the Colombian Association of Neurology, Internal Medicine and Colombian Association of Neurology, that they conservatively estimate their distribution network can access over 500,000 patients. Now you do some...
It looks like a great story, because I think there's going to be a lot more...
How much does the average patient spend on a Canadian in Canada per month who's an ACMPR patient? I think it's above $50. So could you imagine 500,000 patients spent $50, $250 million.
25 million.
25 million rather. Still. That's on, well, anyways, we speculate.
Look.
And then let's have a quick look at some of the other indexes here while we're at it and see where the big movers are today. Yeah. We'll look at the Venture Index now. Venture Index being all companies listed in Canada all Canadian cannabis companies listed on the TSX Venture. So the big mover here today, the big loser, Devonian Health Group. Don't know who they are.
Down
Vitality Products.
4 cents with a basis 40. That's not
right.
I don't know the volumes on some of these issuers.
But here's an interesting one. Acasti Pharma up 25%. Do we know anything about Acasti Pharma?
No.
All right, I'm going to go have a peek at them right now since we're Acasti Pharma. There's their website. Now there's an interesting phenomenon that's been happening about us, and that is that, okay, so this company, interestingly, does not appear to even be in the cannabis space. That's why it's doing so well. So this is
that's why I've never heard of it.
Yeah, this is one of the issues we've had with our index at this earliest stage of its rollout, is that there's still a couple of bugs in there. So we won't look at Acasti, they don't count.
Yeah.
Avivagen, they don't count. Arch Bio Partners, don't know who they are. Let's see. Okay, so the first one that I can look at that I don't know for sure is in the cannabis space is Scythium Biosciences.
Right.
It's $3.36 a share, up 1.51%.
Up a nickel.
That's a pretty...
You get the sense, and again, this is an observation, that there's been some of the volatility has been squeegeed out of this thing. Like, in other words, the moves seem to be less dramatic.
Right.
You know, and as a general observation, not suggesting that I wish it to be, but the moves seem to be smaller. Here's Invictus up a penny. Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at the small cap index. These are all Canadian companies listed in Canada with a market cap between 100 and 500 million. Right. And these are ordered currently by market cap. So the biggest one on that index is Organigram. It had a pretty good day, up 1.1% or 6 cents, closed at $5.50. TerraSend, the offspring of Aphria, we'll call it. Good day, 5% up 24 cents. Arguably that's the best. Let's reorder these according to who did the best. Alternate Healthcare. Now there's another one that is actually not in the cannabis space that I know of.
Yeah, how does it get into your cannabis space?
I don't know. We'll have a quick look at that one just to make sure. I could be wrong. Alternate Healthcare.
This Ianthus is an interesting company. It's had a big move lately.
AlternateHealth.ca. Welcome to Alternate Health. No, I don't want your email address before I've even had a... Okay, all kinds of pushy stuff here. Health CEO updates shareholders on spin-off, software for the medical cannabis industry. So I stand corrected.
Okay.
Alternate Health is somehow exposed to that space. Cannapass, that should be our first clue. Cannapass patient management system, technology platform that manages the end-to-end transactions involved with providing safe access to medical marijuana for Canadian citizens. Have you heard of this company yet, Ed?
Just very recently, like maybe 5 seconds ago.
Well, there we go. So this is one we probably want to keep our eye on. If it's up 12% on the day.
Yeah. Can you put up a chart of that one?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Can you have that? You have that ability.
I have the ability on MidasLetter.com. You can search any stock you want and pull up a very detailed chart with some very helpful tools. Oh, now that's not what I would call a very pleasant-looking chart.
Wow, it's about time it's up.
You know,
it's about time it's up.
But let's look at this from a technical perspective, Ed. You know, this thing's had a couple of reversal days, dead cat bounces. They look like here and here and here.
Yeah.
But so, what is this chart telling you technically for the future of this company?
Don't catch a falling knife. Wait for the knife to fall on the ground and pick it up. There's a perfect example. Trying to find the bottom here. Every time you tried so far, you'd have been wrong.
Right.
Now you think, oh, maybe this is the bottom, but that's specious reaning.
Okay. Just for the audience's edification, what in this chart would constitute a definitive bottom?
Well, I would have to see probably extremely unusual volume, increase in volume, where somebody's buying the stock, and you can see, instead of like here we got, I think the biggest day it looks like a couple 100,000 shares. I'd want to see a day when this thing traded a couple million shares or something, and then you'd have a
consolidation at the bottom.
Well, you know, you might have thought that this might have been the bottom here because it had a big move, but it sort of got into this area here, and then but look at this. This is a pretty severe drop.
Right.
I'd like to do some work on looking at their balance sheet and trying to figure out maybe there's an opportunity there.
You know what we'll do is we'll get the CEO in here and we'll ask him what's going on.
The only thing I'll say about whenever I've tried to find the bottom, I've kind of probably wished I didn't. It's not easy.
Wow.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, do you know what we're going to do now, Ed? We're going to go talk to our audience. So we're looking at the YouTube audience right now.
Okay.
And there's a gentleman here that he was in reference to Matt Bottomley, who was here just a little earlier.
Okay.
But he was looking for thoughts on Afria and elaborating on the night and day comment that he made in comparison to Organogram. I couldn't speak for Matt, and so we can't really answer that for you. This gentleman goes by Mr. Lou 1990.
Mr. Lou.
Mr. Lou 1990. I wonder if he was born in 1990.
You know what? I might know that fellow.
Yes. All right. Okay, let's go look at the Facebook audience right now.
Okay.
And let's see, Hector Lopez. Hi, Hector. You're always. It's got to be one of our most loyal fans. All right. So. Oh, that's actually a video from previously. I need to go here. This live video has ended. There we are. There we are. Andrew Kittle. Catalysts include GW Pharmaceuticals Epidiolex decision on, I believe, June 27th, and the actual announcement of a date of recreational sales by Trudeau. Andrew, I've got to say, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You know what?
You can clarify that question.
Glad you said it, because I was just about to say it.
Oh, Suzanne had a message for me there. She's communicating with us from in the control room. Oh, he meant Organogram's difference from 2017 to now being night and day, not a comparison between the two companies.
Oh.
Very, very, very good point of clarification.
Yeah.
Thank you, Suzanne, from within. See, this is going to be exciting for our audience. In about another week, we're going to have a camera in the control room. And when we get communications from the control room, we're going to actually have a back and forth with the control room so that our audience can see what's going on in the control room.
I like it.
The downside of that, though, is our competitors are going to be able to see the extreme level of technical sophistication that now characterizes our broadcast environment. Ed, do we want to give away those secrets?
We may be showing up in North Korea or something like that.
Ooh, we maybe we're working for North Korea.
Don't say that. Please.
You draw the line, working for North Korea.
You know.
All right, let's see what else we got here on the board.
Let's
see who is the biggest on the
I want to
CSE.
See the biggest.
What about the CSE?
Did weed have a bad day today, the big one?
Yeah, we already covered weed.
Oh, we did, eh?
What are you,
my memory's a little bit. Well,
Okay, let's look at the CSE, because the CSE is positive, up 0.11%.
Wow.
Not
0.1. Let's see now. Is that a big move?
That's not really much of a move at all. Let's see who is the big trader on Alternate Health Corp. Was the biggest CSE trader. There we go.
That's the one we talked about earlier.
We've already talked about that.
So we're sort of repeating ourselves.
We're kind of repeating ourselves.
The one comment I'd like to make to the viewers, whenever you have an exponential move in an area, like we had in December, and it was. You mean the one in January? This here? Well, late December, early January. Yeah,
this stuff here.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's the line.
And
for
look at the volume, and if you notice the volume, it's matching. There was a
We'll give you the full screen.
Major accumulation there, and here we go, and the volume's drying down, and we got erosion here.
Okay.
I'd say be very if you're thinking about getting into the space. Maybe you want to just temper your enthusiasm a bit until you start to see
curb your enthusiasm.
Well, I said temper, but
I'm just thinking of the HBO show with David Simon. Curb your
David Simon,
not David Simon. David.
A new show.
David who? Larry David. Clearly, we're not very.
Yeah, you're
very up on our entertainment industry.
Larry David.
But okay.
Just say, look, we're down from 2,500 to 1,500.
Yeah.
I tell you, if it breaks 1250, that's the old 50%. Then things get a little dicey. Anyway,
we go back here. It's remarkable to me that just last summer, August 2017, the index is at 612. I mean, and right now we're at 1620. So is this where we risk returning to? Back down here somewhere?
Look, if we break, there's a little bit of a base we've had here for 3 months, but not really. Yeah, look, it just looks like, what's going to spark this thing?
I mean, value catalyst wise. Well,
we just got to prove.
I think here's a value catalyst that could occur. If recreational rules take hold, and the first balance sheets that are the biggest recipients of the upside from recreational rules taking hold demonstrate a convincing, an increase in revenue and or volume of sales and or profit, that will catalyze, I think, fresh interest.
The problem is that the valuations are so egregious now. Like they're so big relative to fundamentals that as any company starts to generate. Anyway, maybe I'm being a bit too narrow-minded here, but if things were to escalate, but there seems to be just a crowded playing field, and more so. And I think a lot of our friends that talk about this say the price is going to come down because so much is being produced.
Price of cannabis.
So how can you?
Yeah.
Anyway, it'll be interesting to see, but it just seems like some of the wind has been taken out of the sails, the proverbial sails.
Well, I think it's interesting if the feds do move to eliminate the illegal dispensary market on the basis of the recreational rules, then I think that's going to have a positive effect in terms of the perception of the investing public, because that would suggest that, okay, they're going to force that historic black market illegitimate supply offline, at least in large part, and that there's no way that cannot accumulate on the balance sheet of the recreational legal producers.
I noticed there was Suzanne sent a little message in saying that the gentleman wanted to know about Afria. Did we talk about Afria?
We have.
Okay.
Mr. Lou 1990 says, "Hi Ed, I suspect he's..."
I think I do know the gentleman. I think he's from London.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. All right. So let's see.
Thanks for dropping in. Tell your friends.
Okay. Nav Calcat wants me to go yell at the stock market and tell him to get on the Afria train ASAP.
Yeah.
Stock market, get on the Afria train ASAP. Don't think they're going to listen to me there, Nav. No. Let's see what else. Ocelot Ware, Cantrest and Organogram are both undervalued, according to Ocelot Ware. Well, there's an opinion from the ether.
There used to be
Mr. Lou 1990 says, "You're welcome, Ed."
There used to be an oil company called Ocelot, and it was a high flyer. I'm going back along, but brokers would say, if you owned Ocelot, you ended up lost a lot.
Okay, that's just. I guess you had to be in the market.
Well,
no, I understand. There's a comment from Andrew Kittle, one of our viewers on Facebook, who says that CBD markets might open up in America first, followed by medical marijuana. I think he means in reference to what could be a value catalyst in the marketplace.
Right.
That's because a good observation.
I think CBD is more of a pain thing than a...
Well, it's a non-psychotropic element of the THC CBD profile.
No buzz.
No buzz.
Just...
relaxation. Just chill out and feel good.
This is when you start playing the Eastern music, right?
Right. What are you? Well, no, we're not going to go there, Ed. Ed, you know what? We missed 420 came and went, and we didn't pull out. We didn't do what we're going to do when it's legal to do. We didn't try a new cannabis product at 420 because the rules are still not clear.
Yeah.
And we still do not want to risk getting thrown out of the building we're in.
Yeah, right.
By breaking the law. So
okay.
But that's something to look forward to. I mean, I can't wait till we can actually talk about the products and have them here and look at them and talk to some of the people who are selling them and using the products and getting the opinion.
I'd like the idea of using it right on here and then...
well, I don't think that will ever be
And then
legal.
we have some equipment to measure our brain waves.
All right, we're gonna leave it there for now. Come back tomorrow at 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, and 4:20 especially.
With a new co-host.
With tomorrow's the first day of our new co-host, Steve Meisner. Now, Steve Meisner is one of the most respected opinionators on Bay Street.
Former money manager.
Yeah. Former top fund manager.
Yeah.
And Steve will be here tomorrow, starting at 3:15-ish. Join us then. Thank you.
And